Now that the cover-up is almost finished, all we need to do is graft these stitches, meaning to join them, and we will be doing that using Kitchener stitch. First thing first, the strap, make sure it's not twisted in any way. Make sure it's straight as we'll be joining it. Secondly, there will be a little hole in here. To avoid it, what we have to do is pick up a couple of stitches here, like that. Like that. And we will join it with this stitch. So now the beginning of the Kitchener stitch. What we will do is run the needle through this stitch from the top to the bottom, like so. And now you can see that closed the gap right here. And we move on to the second needle. And again, we'll run it from the top of the stitch. This is the stitch. From the top to the bottom. Going back to the first needle. Going back to the stitch we just worked on. Again, we run the needle through from the top to the bottom of the first stitch and bottom to the top of the second stitch, just like this. Make sure not to pull too tight and just leave enough space here so the stitches will not be joined too tightly, and it will look just like this knitted portion here. Going back to the second needle, we pull our needle through the stitch top to bottom, and the second one bottom to the top, just like that. This stitch right here, again, the first stitch is always top to bottom, and the second stitch is bottom to top. And just keep going like that. Make sure leaving enough space that it's not joined too tightly. Top to bottom, bottom to the top. Going back. And this is what we have so far. We might tighten it up a little bit, but we can do it later. Let me put this one on the needle, back on the needle. And the last one. Now we have only one stitch on each needle, and again it's top to the bottom, and this one's the same way, top to the bottom. We can make these, space them out a bit more so they look like they were never joined, they were just worked like that with the whole body. But now you don't see the gap here, and all of this is joined. All we need to do is just weave in the ends, and the project is done.